Alright, all you video gamers, welcome to yet another EX Power Combo Demon Lightning Takedown Edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And with a title like that, we decided to go with the video game none other than Tales of Berseria. And according to what the maestro just told me, this would be the fourth Tales game will we be able to tell in video game story history, which means we still got 3 more left to go from 3 other Tales games, but that's a story for another day, because now I think it's time for us to gear up, sharpen our tools, and get prepared to take on some extracurricular dungeons, all while testing out our true power and strength as we get ready to paint the picture. Alright, this video game story began approximately 4 weeks ago after I was able to beat the main portions of this said game, and would decide to go into what I like to call the zone cage portion of the game, which was really entitled as the Heavenly Steps for this game, to try to really test out my power and bulk up the levels of my characters to do a new game plus mode for this game. And while I was going through all the levels fighting against these different creatures on different floors, whether it be a whole bunch of crazy gorillas with big oversized axes that try to take me out, or even little tiny creatures with sonic magic attacks that can kill within 3 hits, each and every single one of them on those heavenly steps would fall victim to the one character I've used from start to finish without changing to anybody else, none other than Velvet. And the reason why in the world I decided to stick with Velvet out of all the characters in this game, folks, not only because I believed, in my opinion, she was the strongest, but also was a character I can relate to with her crazy demonic-like strength and the ability to actually regain her health while still slashing at enemies and still willing to give more to them, all while going to some ultimate attack to take everything out on the field at once. And while I was using Velvet, making my way up these heavenly stairs, I would learn some brand new attacks and powers along the way, including one very extremely dangerous one, that is, if I stay in that demonic form that she has for well over 20 seconds, I just go crazy and just start slashing everything in my path, taking it out within seconds. And the one person who would fall victim to that the worst would be the one waiting atop of the very highest floor of the heavenly steps, this weird dragon creature that would go by the name of, and Maestro said we're gonna butcher the name, and I got a feeling we are, Azadunk? However the world you would say it, to translate it, giant oversized chimera dragon-like beast that tried to kill us all within 3 or 10 hits when we were up there on the heavenly stairs. Now, the team I had with me for the heavenly stairs, just in case I went a little bit too quote-unquote overboard with Velvet's power, was none other than Eleanor, Magilu, and especially Laphicet as a healer bonus and an anchor a part of this team, just in case some of the enemies gets unruly, especially that dragon hybrid thing we had to take out. But during this fight, and I got a feeling this hybrid creature didn't see it coming, I decided to use Velvet's full power and get to that full demonic mode that she was known for, and just kept ripping and tearing at this creature while it was paying attention to the other people on the map, trying to take out Magilu and Laphicet, throwing fireballs and electricity at it, all the while I was tearing it apart while it had well over 25,000 hit points. But ultimately, this creature would fall victim to that ultimate attack we told you about earlier that Velvet would have, for her to actually go up into the air, slam the ground, crack the earth, and kill this creature within one fell swoop, with me not only to be disappointed, but at the same time saying, is that it? Is that all this place had to offer? Come on! I expected a fight. This is supposed to be the EX dungeon, the zone cage. Where's the fight? Where's the competition? And after after questioning the strength of that zone cage, we would get a notification that there would be another Class 4 place that would be banned from the world that we would have to sail our way to in the form of the Elite Dungeon that was off on an island far off from the rest of the world. And after one of the sailors would tell me not to go to that island, and you obviously know I was going to go to the island regardless, I would go over there to get more of a challenge than what we had to face before with that creature that I got a feeling I killed in Dragon's Dogma 10 times over didn't give me. And boy, oh boy, folks, when I got to that island, I would get a challenge, all right. Because not only I would run into tiny little creatures that would try to take me out at a moment's notice, but also run into creatures that would reflect every single one of Velvet's attacks and cause her to take damage in response. So I was stuck in a corner. I couldn't take out the second group of enemies in this giant, oversized Class 4 dungeon. And by the way, folks, in this Class 4 dungeon, if you lose all your characters at any portion of this, you will have to restart from the beginning, and that would happen to me on at least 10 separate occasions because I was too stubborn to switch from Velvet because I didn't know how to use anybody else. So I would have to step outside my comfort zone and go with the one character I had a feeling I had a chance to use, and that would be none other than Laphicet. And Laphicet, with a skill level higher than most and with a magic level that was so dangerous, I said I was only going to use him on emergency situations. This would be a perfect one. And during the emergency situation that I would use them for, I didn't realize what I was doing. I just kept throwing cards at people, shooting flames into the ground, and it just kept connecting, doing damage to the other creatures. And I would be able to eliminate just about every single creature on that map, with the exception of the last big, giant, oversized creature they had in this Elite Dungeon. And what I tried to do to defend myself was do the special ability that Laphicet had, that you would just smack it with some cards, then hit a button for you to actually damage the creature and gain health, and just kept doing it over and over and over again until I would hold R2 afterwards when I did the final hit, and then the sky started to light up. He started to say some magic words that seemed very familiar from Tales from the Abyss, and then next thing I know, the sky would open up, and then lightning would strike from the skies, hitting everything on the map, and he would say the dreaded words I thought I would never hear again in a Tales game of indignation for everything to get wiped out, and I would win that said dungeon. Now, the fact that it took me 10 times to at least get to the second to last part for this, but yet this little boy filled with so much magic was able to wipe out the field with one magical attack of legendary proportion that I wish was in the game for so many years, I would just scream afterwards after that attack landed, yes, he has the move! He has the move! And I would decide to use Laphicet ever since that one moment to truly test the power of indignation on any creature that would cross my path. And let me tell you folks, it's definitely up to the legend I remember it from those many games before. And with that said, folks, wraps it up for another Power Combo Lightning Demon Takedown edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And with that, we'll be back with more right after this. So stay tuned.